Hey, Pinellas County, Otis Dixon here, Clearwater High School graduate, class of 1996, and a proud former USF Bull. Back in the day, sports was everything to me. Now you can relive the excitement with Pinellas County Schools TV Classic Game of the Week, watch some of the best high school players in the county, leave it all on the field and the courts. Don't miss it Thursday night on PCS TV and Pinellas County School YouTube channel. You don't want to miss this classic.
Basketball, a game played between two teams of four players.
Jam-packed here at Lakewood High School. The Spartans hosting the Tornadoes from Clearwater on the Bright House Sports Network Game of the Week. Good evening, everyone. I'm Drew Felios. Great to have you with us tonight alongside former Tampa prep guard Andrick Frazier. Andrick, tonight it's the size of Clearwater versus the speed of Lakewood. Coming in, who has the edge?
Drew, it really comes down to who can impose their will this evening. Clearwater's a team that's averaging over 70 points per game, but Lakewood is also a team that wants to get up and down the floor. So Clearwater's going to have to decide. They want to let their size dominate, or do they want to stick to a high-scoring game?
This Clearwater program still buzzing after sending Luke Laux to Florida State. He's playing now in Tallahassee. What that means is that now it is Okaro White's team, and White has taken full advantage.
Okaro White is a phenomenal junior. He's leading Pinellas County in scoring in just under 22 points a game. He's also averaging over 9 rebounds a game, and he's recorded 8 double-doubles already this evening.
Yeah, I remember doing a Clearwater game last year. Former coach Jack Hoyt raved about Julian Sargent, said he had tremendous potential. Now he's a senior. What does he bring to the court?
Julian Sargent is an unbelievable body. I've had an opportunity to see him play twice this year. The 6'9" senior really uses his size well around the basket. He has the ability to score and change games on the defensive end by blocking shots and also rebounding.
Let's talk about this Lakewood team now. They were hit hard by graduation, but still the Spartans 15-2, and a guy that came off the bench last year has had a key role this year, Shaman Cox.
Shaman Cox has stepped into his leadership role, and he has really carried this team at times. Unbelievable body at 6'2", and the senior guard can really fill it up from inside the lane and behind the three-point arc.
Oh man, this Lakewood team really likes to get after you. Dominic Lane is the player next to Cox that provides one heck of a punch to the Spartans.
Dominic Lane is the motor that keeps this team running. He puts unbelievable pressure on the basketball, but on the offensive end, he's the leader. He's the one that gets them into their sets, and he's the one that the coach looks to when it gets into crunch time.
If you like good, competitive high school basketball, do not change the channel. The next 2.5 hours are going to be a treat. We're at Lakewood High School. The Spartans hosting the Clearwater Tornadoes. Coming up next on the Bright House Sports Network, Game of the Week.
Well, it may be not a playoff game, but it's definitely got a playoff atmosphere here at Lakewood High School. Drew Felios, Andrick Frazier. The Spartans will wear the white jerseys tonight. Clearwater wears the red. We are jam-packed here at Lakewood in a gym that only holds about 800 to 1,000 people. So not a lot of wiggle room in this gym, but Andrick, when you play in an atmosphere like this, it makes the game more exciting, and as a player, it makes concentrating really at a premium.
Really does, Drew. I mean, this is a very intimate setting, and I mean that in the most passionate way. I mean, these kids are going to have all the fans sitting right on top of them. They can feel the energy from the crowds and feed off of it, but you have to make sure you're able to maintain your composure. A lot of energy will be spent in this game in the first 3 minutes.
As both teams are being introduced, the reserves first and then the starters. Malcolm Grigley gets the start tonight for Clearwater. Both of these schools have not really done much on the football field. That's why when basketball season comes around, they are so excited. Their program's so established. Lakewood actually started to come back into the football scene in Pinellas County this year under a new head coach in Corey Moore, who replaced Otis Dixon, the old football player at USF. Moore came in, really reignited football here at Lakewood High School, but basketball has never lost its fever here in Lakewood or at Clearwater.
You're looking into the 1990s and into the 2000s, Drew, and Clearwater has always been a perennial basketball power. You're talking about a great basketball team in Pinellas County. Lakewood has really come on the scene strong in the late 90s into the 2000s, when before it was Gibbs and Bogosiega that really ran things in St. Petersburg. So Coach Wright has done an unbelievable job. We had the opportunity, of course, before this game to watch these two JV teams compete. And I tell you what, Drew, they're not going to be hurt for talent in the years to come from the game we saw before this one.
Absolutely. Very talented JV teams on the court earlier. There is plenty of talent in the cupboard here. And both of these teams relatively young is the one we're going to see tonight, especially when you talk about Clearwater. Okaro White, just a junior. He'll be back next year. Aside from Reagan O'Rourke, the senior, this Clearwater team looking very good in years to come.
Coach Carden definitely has something to build upon this year, but he's not looking at next year. He really wants to get some things done this year. This team is ready, I think, to make a run, for a state title. But this is the first of possibly 3 meetings between these two teams in less than 3 weeks, if you look at the schedule. I mean, so for either one of these teams to make it back to Lakeland, they have to go through each other in the regional finals. Then they also have to deal with the Pinellas Athletic Conference game as well.
You see the entire school for Lakewood getting in on that huddle. Cheerleaders and all, as the Spartans set to tip it off with the Tornadoes. And there's the starting 5, Corey Carden, the transfer from Pinellas Park, gets the start for the Tornadoes tonight at point guard. Reagan O'Rourke, the senior, has been tremendous. Wrigley gets the start. He's the third guard. Okaro White, Julian Sargent there in the front court. And as for Lakewood, Justin Minnis, the senior. Big night last night against the Patriots, 21 points. Ladarius Barnes, Dominic Lane, Shaman Cox, and Brandon Lilavoy, the senior, will wear number 21. As we get a look at Corey Carden, only 5'8". He's not the biggest guy on the court, but probably plays the biggest role for Clearwater when it comes to settling their offense and really getting guys into position.
It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. And Mr. Carden has plenty of that. His heart is as large as that number 22 on the back of his jersey. He's going to give it all he has tonight, diving for loose balls and really being the extension of his father on the floor this evening.
Last year, too, Corey had that short haircut. Now he looks more and more like his brother Cam growing the hair out. What do you think?
He puts on about 20 more pounds. I may make that confusion this evening.
Here's the tip. And it's controlled by the Spartans as Justin Minnis brings it into the front court for Lakewood. As Clearwater will start in the man-to-man defense. It's Cox down low, had it poked away, and Carden already strafing up the floor, dives for the loose ball, and it will be Clearwater basketball.
Talking about his ability to be all over the place. You see him digging in that time on Mr. Cox for the steal.
Expect to see pressure like this all night long. That is what Lakewood does. They will try and throw Clearwater out of the rhythm.
It's really 2 things they're going to have to make sure they're able to do tonight. That's number 1, limit Clearwater to 1 shot, keep their big guys off the glass, and really force the tempo of this game. I mean, they have the speed advantage. They have to get up and down the floor and get good looks at the basket.
Minnis' first shot is off. And it's knocked out of bounds. Lakewood basketball. Coach Alan Carden, 23rd season of coaching, first season at Clearwater. Look at the record so far, 16-2. He totally built Pinellas Park basketball in just 4 years. Andrick became the all-time winningest coach for the Patriots.
Says a lot about what he was able to do in such a short period of time over at Pinellas Park. He's extremely excited about having an opportunity to be over there with the Clearwater Tornadoes.
Minnis, bounce pass to Lilavoy. Lakewood taking their time offensively. Lane kicks it over. The shot taken and missed by Ladarius Barnes. It'll stay with Lakewood.
It's going to be very hard for Lakewood to get looks inside the paint in the half-court offense because of the size of White and Julian Sargent. So they're going to have the ability to knock down some shots from the outside early to extend this Clearwater defense.
Here's White stepping outside. He'll take that shot off the mark. Skying up high for it was O'Rourke. He couldn't get it. And a foul is called on the floor. As Clearwater will keep the basketball, and Dan Wright, 33rd year at Lakewood. Really the dean of basketball coaches, not only in Pinellas County, but in this entire Tampa Bay area. There simply is not any better.
I don't think there's a coach that has that tenure probably anywhere in the state at one institution. That's just phenomenal, not only what he's been able to do here with this program as far as wins and losses, but what he's been able to add to these young men's life that come through the program.
Jumper's good, and it's Malcolm Wrigley.
Speaking to Coach Reed before the basketball game, one of the things that he was very impressed about is Coach White was the ability for this team to make outside shots.
It's saved. Now Cox fires for three. And Lakewood stepping up the intensity here in the early going. Back-to-back three-pointers.
We talked about the energy that's going to be in this building, and if Lakewood keeps up the pressure and able to knock down some of these big-time shots and the crowd gets in the game, Clearwater is going to have to take the air out of the ball and make sure they get the shots they need, such as this one in the paint from Julian Sargent.
Sargent puts it down. Clearwater's on the board. 6-2 here, just underway at Lakewood High School. Minnis operating against Carden. Dominic Lane already has a three. Here's Barnes. Nice penetration. Well, Darius Barnes does so many things for these Spartans.
Really, it helps when you have 5 players on the floor that are almost interchangeable when you look at this Lakewood offense. So when they spread you out on the floor, you have to come out and guard them.
Barnes again knocks it down, and Alan Carden will take a timeout. His Clearwater team looks clearly out of sync here in the opening minutes. Lakewood out to the 10-2 lead. It's been the pressure of Lakewood so far, and the Spartans getting pretty much any shot that they want.
Really, it's their ability to make shots off the dribble. I mean, you got a couple of long-range threes being knocked down. The first one by Dominic Lane, and then the next one you come down and also have a three-point shot at the top of the key. And just their ability to take them off the dribble. They're going to have to be able to spread Clearwater out because Julian Sargent is probably the only person in this starting 5 lineup that cannot guard on the perimeter. But even though Lakewood has players listed as forwards, they're all guards. They all have the ability to put the ball on the floor, and they all can make shots from beyond the arc. So Clearwater has to respect that, and they have to extend their defense out to the three-point line.
Look at that, 12 straight postseasons for Lakewood. That is tied for a Pinellas County record in the amount of postseasons that they have reached in a row. Only St. Pete back in the 20s and 30s has equaled that mark. There's the kick out. Rourke punches it inside. They're trying to get it down low to Okara White, and there's a foul on the floor.
As Clearwater decided they want to draw something up to try to get White involved early where he's going to be most effective, which is really inside the paint. Even though he has the ability to make shots from the outside, in high school basketball, you have to take advantage of your size, which Clearwater surely has that advantage this evening.
Sargent operating in double team. He had it poked away. Here's Barnes coming back. May have gone over and back. No call. Minnis has it swatted away. And here's White running the floor. Jamon Cox coming away with it. He'll take the three. Minnis back up. No good. And both of these teams really going at each other here in the opening minutes. Sargent all the way.
Julian Sargent really runs the floor well for someone of his size. He looks a little big, but he does get up and down the floor, and he gets a lot of easy buckets in transition.
Tried to get it to White, and Okara White couldn't gather as Reagan O'Rourke hit him along the baseline. Look at these players fight for the basketball. Minnis again to the corner. Barnes for three. No shortage of athletes here tonight. Carden punches it down low to White. Okara White, they're not going to stop him when he gets that close.
Not at all. Okara, again, using his length and his size, he plays the best baseline as well as anybody in Pinellas and Hillsborough County. It's a shot he can get at any time.
Good ball movement by the Spartans. Three-pointer is good. Justin Minnis, the transfer from St. Pete, knocks it down. Clearwater trying to respond, and they do, as Joey Nungester hits his first field goal of the game. 16-8. Cox coming right back. Boy, he has such a big body. When he penetrates, it is awfully hard to stop.
You remind of somebody that we get to see frequently, Drew. Somebody by the name of Dominique Jones, just with that body and that size, able to take on all defenders and initiate contact with those broad shoulders and still have the ability to finish at the basket in traffic.
Sargent whistled for the foul, and now Shamon Cox will head to the line. This is what you want to do against the big man, Sargent.
Cox is using his body to protect the basketball, initiating contact, be able to create space, attempting to get the ball on the glass with a possible and one opportunity.
You know, last year, Shamon Cox had just transferred over from St. Pete. He was a big fish in a small pond when he played for the Green Devils. Had to really learn how to play with his teammates when he transferred to Lakewood last year. It was slow developing, but he has really caught on.
Coach Wright does not mind letting loose the reins on his players, but you have to play within this system. And then he has teams that are very balanced and very talented. You're not going to have players averaging 25, 26 points a night for Coach Wright, but you'll have a lot of kids that are right around that 17, 18, 15-point mark. You have to have the ability to share the basketball, and we've seen that so far in the first quarter.
Over and back. So the Lakewood pressure causes the turnover. And Alan Carden pleading his case. But his team clearly having some issues adjusting to this full court Lakewood defense. 5 turnovers so far for the Tornadoes. Traveling.
Well, it'll be interesting to see, honestly, how long Coach Carden stays in this man-to-man defense. I don't know if Lakewood's going to knock down these shots all night, but if they continue to spread Clearwater out, it's a pure disadvantage to Clearwater. They do not have the foot speed nor the athleticism to keep up with Lakewood in a full court game, such as we're seeing so far.
Another traveling call. This Clearwater team, the Tornadoes, expect to at least get to the Final Four this year. Only 2 losses so far, both coming in that Tampa Hoops Classic. Played at the Sun Dome and at Plant High School. You take a look at the teams they lost to, Winter Park and Olympia, both in the Orlando area, 2 of the best teams in the state.
Let me tell you one thing that sticks out about both of those losses, which kind of makes me rethink conversation we had earlier today. Both of those teams have very good guards, and it's evident right now that the guards are just overmatched right now by Clearwater.
Timeout call.
1:42 in the first quarter.
And we're still in the first quarter here at Lakewood. Clearwater trailing the Lakewood Spartans. We talked about Clearwater and who they've lost to. Lakewood lost to the Rock in Gainesville. The Rock, another state power. They lost in a holiday tournament at Ocala Vanguard. You know, Vanguard's always going to attract some of the best teams in the state as well.
Again, that was a game in which they lost, having to leave from St. Petersburg early in the morning, playing 11:30 tip, and we all know what it's like trying to get out of a van and play basketball from our AAU days. That's difficult sometimes. So that game kind of caught them off guard. And the other game they lost was to another team from out of state by 2, which is a game they could have easily won. So they play some tough competition, both of these teams. They're battle tested, and we're seeing a good game so far this evening.
Long shot by Barnes off the back of the rim. Carden, the little guy, comes down with a rebound. Here's the shot, and good by Reagan O'Rourke.
Reagan O'Rourke is not going to pass up too many opportunities to take shots when he has a clear look at the basket.
Lakewood tries to come back, can't get it to fall, and now it's the reserves for Clearwater starting to make a difference in the game.
Look at the athleticism on that last defensive play, Drew. That is a very hard steal and deflection that time by Dominic Lane.
You know, when you're this close to the court as we are, it's pretty easy to see that with so many athletes on the floor, this floor is just not big enough for these teams.
It's not at all here. On high school court, it's not as long. Of course, as a college court, it's about 10 feet shorter, and that 10 feet makes a tremendous amount of difference. These athletes pick up some ground when they change ends of the floor.
Punch it inside. Here's White. Akaro White hangs and hits. So the Florida State recruit with 2 field goals so far.
First time this evening we see Clearwater opening up in the 2-3 zone. Attempt to negate some of the dribble penetration Lakewood has been able to get first part of this game.
White threw it away. Dominic Lane now coming back. Oh, look at Lane go to the hole and challenge Akaro White for 2.
Dominic Lane is listed as 6'1", but he plays much larger than 6'1".
Substitutions. As the buzzer keeps sounding, Joey Nunjester comes back into the game. You see Justin Minnis. He's had a key role so far. Final 10 seconds of this first quarter. Lakewood has forced the tempo in this first session. Straight to the goal and scoring, Justin Minnis. Akaro White, final shot of the quarter. And that is how it will end. Lakewood, 22 points. The Spartans put on the board after 1 quarter. 22-13, and we've just played one. Many more fireworks to come from Lakewood High School. We're back right after this. Clearwater and Lakewood from here in Spartan Country. Drew Felios, Sandrick Frazier. When you look at these 2 programs historically, Clearwater and Lakewood, look at that. Tornadoes' first playoff appearance, 1925. The Spartans made their debut in 1973. 41 total playoffs for the Tornadoes. That is unbelievable.
Even with the program starting in 1925, you're right, Drew, that's unbelievable. But the most important statistic, if you look at the last time neither team made it to the playoffs, 1991.
Wow.
And that is an unprecedented run. That just goes to show you how much work is going into both of these programs.
You can pretty much book it year in and year out. One of these teams will be playing in the postseason. O'Rourke off the back iron. Reagan will challenge again, and he'll draw the foul and head to the line. So Reagan O'Rourke, whose father and mother both played basketball at Florida Southern. And there's a very good chance that this young man right here, Reagan O'Rourke, will be playing his college basketball in Lakeland at FSC.
6'2" seniors averaging just over 13 points a game, and he's deceptively quick, and he attacks the basket with reckless abandon. He looks a lot more athletic than you would think he is, and he really can shoot the ball from the outside.
His mother, Nancy Parks, part of the Clearwater Hall of Fame. She is on the wall in the Tornadoes Gymnasium at Jack Wilson Gym.
Talking about pressure, he has to make sure he performs night in and night out. He's going to have to hear it from mom.
Well, usually the moms say, hey, you played great no matter what. Not the case with him.
Not at all. I'm pretty sure he gets the ill full on those bad nights.
That's right. As the Clearwater defense forces a turnover.
Great job by Coach Garden switching up defenses again, I think, to the zone. Needs to slow down Lakewood's offense just a bit. Not give up so much dribble penetration.
White inside, fighting on the glass, and he's fouled. Akaro White now will head to the line. One of the most impressive statistics for Akaro. He's got 18 dunks coming into tonight. Scored 31 points once this year, scored 26 on another occasion. But the thing that's most exciting about this young man is he has not even begun to really scratch his potential.
He's not. I mean, I think that's what Florida State has jumped on him so early. I mean, granted, he's a phenomenal talent right now, but he's only going to get better, especially as that body starts to fill out. He has the skills and the tools that it's going to take to compete in the ACC.
Second free throw off. Clearwater's cut this to a 7-point game.
Clearwater opening up in a little pressure of their own to try to slow down this Lakewood offense.
Here's Minnis, spotting up for three, was wide open. The Tornadoes are going to have to start accounting for Minnis.
With that, it'll be a menacing night for the Tornadoes, and I promise that's the last time I'll use that this evening.
Easy bucket inside for Sargent. You promise?
I promise, that's it.
Near turnover. Here's Minnis again. And And it's Clearwater basketball, and Sargent was able to force the turnover. Ball going off of Minnis' left leg. Talk about those 41 postseasons for Clearwater. This Lakewood team, they have made it to the state championship game the past 2 years. And that is something that no other team in our entire Bay Area can say.
This is a team that definitely believes it can win every night they step on the floor. You can see that with the amount of energy that they've expended so far in this basketball game. These kids come in for one reason and one reason only, and that's to compete for a state championship.
Sargent puts it in again. At 6'10", Julian Sargent's going to have a lot of these opportunities tonight. I mean, he is uncontested down there when he can grab the basketball and square up.
There aren't many players he's going to face on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights that has the size that he possesses. So does a great job of keeping the ball high. He finishes well around the basket, especially off the glass. And as of late, he's been doing a better job of converting shots at the free throw line.
Several schools after the services of Sargent. Wide open again. Dominic Lane couldn't get it. Cox has it swatted away. Lakewood so feisty in there. Right now, you look at the two lineups, Andrew. Lakewood gives up an average of, I'd say, about 5 inches every single man. I mean, Clearwater has such a distinct height advantage. Look at the two guys lining up on the blocks, just then too.
I agree, but if you've paid attention so far in this game, it's not their man that they're boxing out that's coming in and getting the offensive rebound. The guards really have to help these two gentlemen rebound. They're just so accustomed to Julian Sargent or Carl White snatching everything off the glass. But when you're playing with a bunch of athletes, they're coming from everywhere. So right now, Carl White and Julian Sargent, they don't have the luxury of just attacking the ball when it comes off the rim. They have to find and locate bodies and box out, and the rest of the Clearwater Tornadoes need to help them out on the glass.
In the corner, Coffin. His shot's off. First shot of the game for Casey Coffin. Young man usually in the starting lineup, but tonight comes off the bench for the Tornadoes. Here's Minnis. Justin Minnis inside to Cox. Oh, good job by Shaman Cox. Once again using the body. White tried to penetrate. And they're going to get a foul as Akara White was trying to move in. Brandon Littlevoy is going to get whistled.
Littlevoy has to do a better job of giving White just a little more space. He's extremely long, so one shot fake and dribble, he can be at the rim. So you have to give him a little more space, chop those feet as you close out to make sure you can keep him in front of you.
We talked about Akara White already made his college decision. And, you know, it wasn't just Leonard Hamilton, the coach at Florida State, who recruited Akara White. It was also Florida State's newest recruiter, Luke Laus.
Yeah. Luke Laus, man, having a very productive season so far for the Seminoles up in Tallahassee. But that really does make the recruiting process easy for coaches when you have really your biggest advocates, who are your players, come back to where they're from. And so you know what, this would be a great place for you to be. You love to play for Coach Hamilton. So that's just, again, it's a credit to what Coach Hamilton's been able to build so far up there in Tallahassee. And it's tough, you know, with Florida Gators, the Seminoles. Miami's having a great year. USF is stepping things up. It's going to get very competitive in the state of Florida for talent.
There's the numbers on White so far: 7 points, 3 boards. It's a 6-point game.
Clearwater switching up defenses again to a 1-2-2 half-court press.
Cox, boy, he's taken a lot of deep shots so far. Lakewood so feisty on the boards. And Andrick, that's exactly what you were talking about. The big men for Clearwater have to locate bodies, even though they're much smaller for Lakewood.
Carl White has to understand, especially the next level, you're not going to be able to out-jump all of your opponents. You have to find and locate bodies. Make sure you initiate contact, because in college, even with players going over your back, if you're not boxing out and initiating contact, you're not going to get that call.
Look at Carton sneak in there and get the layup. How did he get that shot off? Here's Carden again. Carden will take the shot and knock it down. A 3-point game. This is the closest that Clearwater has been since the opening tip. Lane up high. will draw the foul. Look at the hops from Dominic Lane.
Like Dominic Lane, 4th offensive rebound so far in this basketball game. Somebody has to find number 5 and keep him from eating up the glass.
White is second. Dominic Lane on 2-2.
Corey Carden on the last 2 trips down the court. First, it's the sneaking into the lane and getting the bucket. So he gets one from real close, and then he steps to the outside. This is how versatile this young man is.
Carden's been spending a lot of time working on that basketball game, especially the outside shot. Speaking with his father this week, he was just really impressed with his son's easy transition over to Clearwater after living in Pinellas Park. I mean, it has to be emotional, especially being a part of building a program and coming over here and having to play for a team in which you despised for 2 seasons.
Joey Nungester knocks down another jumper. So that's 2 jumpers for Nungester. Lakewood, though, comes back. Ladarius Barnes. This is a high-scoring game. These 2 teams with a chance to get up into the 80s and possibly the 90s.
There's no secret what Coach Wright's formula for success was going to be this evening. That's spread Clearwater out. Let's get up and down the floor. Let's get as many attempts at the basket as we can get. This is their gym. They practice in here every day. That's why these kids are shooting the ball with such tremendous confidence.
Mentioned those 2 state championship games Lakewood has been to the past 2 years. They've lost to Lake Howell and Dillard, 2 very good teams, and they're playing a very good team tonight as Reagan O'Rourke knocks it down from the top of the key, and it's a 2-point game. Another foul on the floor as it was Victor Perkins turning and facing the bucket. Here's the jumper by O'Rourke.
Unbelievable wide open jumper by O'Rourke. What was even more important was the fierce screen that was set that time by Mike Barber, the 6'5" football player, laying the wood to get O'Rourke open.
Minutes. He has been red hot this entire half. Try to go right back to Sargent. Back to a 5-point game, 37-32 at Lakewood High School here. Drew Felios, Sandrick Frazier, and the entire Bright House Sports Network crew. Great to have you with us for what has been a dandy high school game so far. Here's Dominic Lane, kicking it over to Shamon Cox. Cox pulls up. Lane tried to tip it in, and it's rebounded by Nungester. Advantage for Clearwater, 5-on-4. They go inside, and Mike Barber gets called for the travel.
Mark Barber that time looking like a football player when he caught that basketball. Really wasn't ready to make a move, caught him off guard. He's probably expecting the Lakewood defender to be somewhere behind him to apply a little pressure.
Well, you mentioned a football player. He is, in fact, a product of the gridiron, plays defensive tackle for the Tornadoes. And head coach Tom Bostic. Stolen. Here's O'Rourke taking it to the goal. Couldn't get it to fall. Sargent right there. Cox wants it again. Sargent now starting to really take over the game as Joey Nungester scores again, and the Tornadoes have cut the Spartans' lead to 1, and it's not a very big Clearwater faithful that has managed to find its way into this Spartans gym, but they're definitely making their voices heard.
You know, one voice that's going to be heard right now is Coach Wright's voice over there in that huddle. He doesn't mind his players taking open shots, but I think the last couple of times down the floor, they've forced shots, and Clearwater's been able to take advantage of that because none of the players are in position to get back on defense.
Just in the last few minutes, we've seen a lot of the ingredients for Clearwater when you talk about Carden and Sargent, but Okaro White really extending now into January. What was a great December, a December to remember, let's just call it. Look at what he did against Dunedin, 31 points. Came back against Palm Harbor, St. Pete, Jefferson from up in New York and Winter Springs. They all felt the wrath of the Florida State recruit.
You know, Carl White, there's no doubt about it. He can play the game of basketball, and he has been the most impressive player, if you ask me, so far in the area. I mean, everybody has read about John Henson and And everybody knows about Torlin Fitzpatrick and also a player that we saw last week out of playing Shelton Cooley. But Carl White, honestly, I had not heard about him until the season started this year. I hadn't been following the AAU scene very strongly, but he is a very impressive basketball player, and I just can't wait to see what he's able to put up as far as numbers and wins as a senior.
So let's see how Lakewood responds after Clearwater's best run of the game. Lane kicks it out. Cox will take the three, just short. Lakewood not getting the good looks they were in the early part of the basketball game as Nunchester goes to the rim and will draw the foul.
Coach White is trying to figure out why is nobody getting back on defense, and that's what he's explaining to Menace right now. As a point guard, it's your responsibility to protect the backcourt. And the last 2 times in transition, Menace has been nowhere to be found as far as getting back on transition defense.
Menace first foul.
So here's Joey Nunchester, averaging just under 6 points a game. Really a guy that does a lot of the dirty work for this Clearwater team. He's knocked down some jumpers in this first half, but usually he's always around the rim getting those easy baskets.
Coach Carton really has had the luxury because of the style of basketball that he plays and the amount of time he puts in as far as the system and coaching. A lot of these kids are young kids and they're getting playing time. They're sophomores. I mean, so they're going to be battle tested again by the time they're juniors and seniors with a lot of repetition and having to face some big time opponents. So atmospheres like this won't shake them when it comes time to really pull in those tough victories.
This Clearwater team really has great depth, don't they? They have brought so many guys off the bench in this first half. Both of these teams really deep. Lane can't get the three. Lakewood all of a sudden has gone a little bit cold. Lane fakes 2 guys out of their socks. Minutes for 3. What a first half by Justin Minnis.
I think Minnis has an earpiece in his ear. He heard you with that comment about Cole, so he had to go ahead and heat one up from the outside for you.
14 points for Justin Minnis. And Minnis 4 of 4 from three-point land.
Julian Sargent ready, they just picked up another cheap foul, and they really can't afford to have both Julian Sargent and Carl White in foul trouble. That's second on Julian Sargent. Also, White is playing right now with 2 fouls.
So Sargent will have a seat, doesn't want to pick up his 3rd foul with a minute to go here in this first half.
Clearwater's gone back again to this zone defense, and Carl White is almost denying Shamon Cox.
Lakewood able to keep it alive, and Minnis now will reset. Lane fires for 3. Another rebound, another second chance for the Spartans. Why not? Barnes takes it. He can't hit. And it's pulled away by Mike Barber, and Clearwater now with the chance to hold for the last shot. But something tells me they're not going to do that. Here's White. Turn, looked like he was bumped, and no foul is called. Take a look at that one more time. Looked like when Carl White made his move, Cox's body was there.
Looks like Shamon Cox had his elbow up there. Maybe the ball looked like it bounced right off the back of his elbow. I think he got away with one then.
So 20 seconds left to go in this first half. If you're just joining us, this is a very entertaining basketball game. Minnis now hands it over to Dominic Lane. Dominic tries to take it to the goal, but is going to get called for the charge as though Carl White was in position. So maybe Clearwater rewarded for the call they didn't get on the other end.
I'm glad you said that and not me. Dominic Lane has come to a better job of coming to a jump stop. I can understand him taking it at White, especially in that situation, having an opportunity to draw his 3rd foul.
Here's O'Rourke. Off the front of the rim, it falls short. No shortage of action here in the first half. Clearwater trailing by 3, Lakewood 40-37 at the half. Coming up next, your halftime show on Bright House Sports Network. Halftime here at Lakewood High School. The Spartans lead the Clearwater Tornadoes by a score of 40-37. I'm Drew Felios here on Bright House Sports Network, joined now by our special guest. He is St. Pete football coach Joe Fabrizio. When you're at games like this, you never know who you're going to run into, Coach. It's great to see you.
Thank you very much. It's fun being here. It's always good to see two great basketball programs. You like to see watch other great coaches do their thing out there too.
Now I got to ask you, Coach, being St. Pete's football coach, what brings you to a Lakewood Clearwater basketball game?
Well, besides the fact that it's a great game in the county tonight, my wife is an assistant principal down here, and so I like to tag along, watch Coach Wright do his thing down here. It's exciting.
I want you to tell us, too, the key behind your team's success. The St. Pete Green Devils getting all the way to the regional semifinals this football season. Your team basically the talk of the football world in Pinellas County. How the heck did you guys pull it off?
Well, it all comes down to the kids. We had a philosophy going into the program that we had to do things the right way. It took us a couple of years to get it exactly where we wanted to get it, but our senior leadership this year took the ball and ran with it well and really set the bar for the rest of the program.
Now, looking at the redistricting that really the whole Tampa Bay area is going through next year, Largo's going to move out of your district. Northeast is going to move into your district. Northeast, one of your all-time rivals, Coach. What's this going to create now, year in and year out?
Well, it's going to be fun. Jay does a great job. Coach, the Austin family's done a great job at Northeast, but St. Pete has taken on the challenge. We know it's a big rivalry for us. We have always had a great fan turnout for that game, and we just expect to get it to be a bigger and bigger rivalry for us.
One of the great football coaches in Pinellas County. Not just that, but a great guy. Joe Fabrizio, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Drew. Thanks for having me.
Joe Fabrizio, head football coach at St. Pete High School. We're at halftime. Lakewood leads Clearwater 40-37. We've got more coming up next. 40-37, the Lakewood Spartans lead the Clearwater Tornadoes. We're at halftime here at Lakewood High School. Drew Felios now joined by Bob Putnam of the St. Pete Times. Bob, thanks for stopping by.
Sure, no problem.
This first half, what a first half it was. I was wondering how in the heck Lakewood, being so small compared to the size of Clearwater, but the Spartans able to hang with Clearwater, how were they able to do it?
Well, I think with Lakewood's team this year, it's a much better shooting team than they've been in years past, and I think that's been the great equalizer as far as the height. 7 3-pointers in the first half for Lakewood, and even when they're missing, it's a lot of long rebounds, and it's kind of taking the big men out of the game a little bit.
Yeah, Lakewood relentless. They really have a nose for the basketball. If there's a scramble, they don't give up, it seems like.
Yeah, sure, and it's a very fast-paced game so far, very high scoring. The tempo is favoring the Spartans right now.
Lakewood very good at speeding you up. All right, let's talk about Pinellas County as a whole now. We know you've been to a lot of games around the area. Who are some of the better players that have impressed you so far this year?
Well, we've got a lot in this game right now. Shimon Cox and Dominic Lane, great scorers and shooting the ball really well right now. Akaro White has been a very dominating presence in the middle for Clearwater, as well as Julian Sargent. And, don't discount Oldsmar Christian. They've got a couple of playmakers as well with Chris Perez and Harold Doby.
Before we talk to you, we talked to Joe Fabrizio, the St. Pete football coach. What can we say about this guy this entire year and what he was able to do with the Green Devils program?
It's a pretty remarkable thing that he's been able to do. He's been able to get the kids to believe in that program and that system. They're starting to get a lot more players out, and I think there's going to be great things to come, in the next year, especially something to build off of, a winning record and first playoff win since 1984.
Nobody makes the rounds like Bob Putnam of the St. Pete Times in Pinellas County. Bob, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
You can read Bob's blog on TampaBay.com every single day. He keeps that thing updated, does a tremendous job. 40-37. Lakewood leads. We're back here on Bright House Sports Network right after this. Here at Lakewood High School, the Spartans leading the Clearwater Tornadoes 40-37. Our thanks to Bob Putnam of the St. Pete Times and Joe Fabrizio, head football coach at St. Pete High School, for joining us at halftime. And Andrick, now it's time to look back at what was one of the more exciting first halves we've seen all season long. Lakewood really forcing the tempo as Ladarius Barnes knocked down the jumper.
Really just two different quarters, and Lakewood just opening up with an extremely hot hand from behind the arc, and really with those mid-range jump shots, spreading Clearwater out, turning up the heat on the defensive end, which led to easy buckets and gave them a comfortable lead going into the second quarter.
It was Justin Minnis really doing it all for the Spartans, and that young man, Julian Sargent, on the inside, taking over the game and cashing in on easy buckets.
But finally, Clearwater settled down, and Lakewood wasn't so hot from the outside. They were able to get some transition buckets because of Lakewood inefficiencies to get back, and also Sargent getting a large dose of him in the paint.
There's your halftime stats. 50% shooting for Clearwater. That's pretty good. Look at the three-point shooting, also very good by both of these teams.
Really 7 of 18 and 4 for 10. I mean, I'm not accustomed to seeing a Coach Wright team put up 18 three-point shots in a game, let alone in a half, but that just shows you the confidence he has in this squad.
It's a very fast first half of basketball. Interesting to see if these two teams can keep this pace up throughout the evening.
It's going to be very important for Lakewood, again, to make sure they turn up the pressure. I think they got a little lackadaisical in their shot selection going into the second quarter, even though they have the ability to take, knock down the outside shots. They rushed a couple of shots, made a couple of bad decisions, didn't get back in transition. If they want to stay in this basketball game, they have to make sure they continue to shoot the ball well, but they have to make good decisions on the offensive end, because if they get Carl White and Julian Sargent opportunities to impose themselves in the lane, it'll be a long night for them.
So here's Dominic Lane surrounded, and right out of the gates, a traveling call. Clearwater forces the turnover.
Clearwater opening up in the 1-3-1 zone with a Carl White, 6'10", that long wingspan at the top. It's a lot of arc you have to put on a shot.
White nearly threw it down. Lakewood comes right back. Minnis pulls up. Nice shot.
Tough runner that time by Minnis in the lane.
Right back the other way. Joey Nunchester gets called for the travel. Look at Alan Carden. What do you think about the new look for Coach Carden? Remember last year he was in the coat and tie?
Well, I'm really liking that with the black and the red tie. It accents very well. Looks almost Al Pacino-ish.
I think so.
Is Pacino-ish a word?
It is now.
All right.
Lakewood spreading the floor. Minnis has 16 points, goes for his 19th. It rims out, but look at Shaman Cox on the boards, and Cox sticks it in as he knocks down the 10-foot putback.
So I tried to take a break to grab a refreshment at the half. I ran by Cox's mom in front of the concession stand, and she wanted to know what we were saying about his son on the air. Just his ability to use the body, I think, has been the difference in this basketball game for him.
Let's see, they're going to call a foul down low. And the crowd really jumped out of their seats.
Not sure if I can agree with this call. I thought Carl Wright had a lot of basketball right on top of it. Not sure what the official saw on that last play on the baseline.
Not a good call. Our officials tonight, Mike Buckingham, Paul Ukren, and Terrell Dukes.
Is third. We've got a technical foul.
As a technical foul is called. A technical foul called on the Clearwater bench, and they are still upset because of this play, in which Carl White was whistled for the foul, and he clearly got all ball.
Well, I think Coach Carden's a little upset. I mean, because on this play, it's clear as day. I mean, everybody in TV land can see it. This is all ball. Carl White going up, getting on top of the basketball, a clean block. But 3 plays earlier, Carl White had an opportunity to dunk the basketball, and Victor Perkins actually made body contact with his lower extremity, and no foul was called.
Now that is absolutely huge. It's not always so much when you don't get a call. It's when the consistency isn't there, when your player doesn't get a call and then he gets whistled for one on the other end, which he did not commit.
Not only that, that's Carl White's 3rd foul. I mean, so now he has a huge decision to make. I mean, do you take your best player out of the basketball game and really allow him to sit for this next 6:53, or do you allow him to play, trust your player, hoping that he will not pick up his 4th foul?
Well, the next 5 minutes are going to be critical for Carl White.
Also, Drew, another important thing to note is FHSAA rules states that if a bench gets a technical foul, the coaching staff cannot get up off the bench to give instructions to his team. So Coach Carter will be sitting for the remainder of this basketball game.
Wow. Interesting note. That is not where Coach Carden wants to be, sitting down for the remainder.
Yeah, that's something that he does not want to do. And trust me, when I was on the sidelines and when that happened to me, they used to have to strap me down to make sure that I didn't get up off the bench.
For Clearwater, number 20, Mike Barber.
Carl White will have a seat. Checking in for him is Mike Barber. So Carden does decide to sit White, at least for the next few minutes. Here's another free throw by Minnis. These key free throws, Lakewood now 11 points better than Clearwater.
Speaking to Coach Wright this week, we asked him, what are some things your team can improve on? And one of the things he talked about was their ability to make free throws. And in a game as close as this one could be, especially down the stretch, those free throws can come up handy in the last 2 minutes of a basketball game.
Barnes swings it over. Playing catch right now with Dominic Lane. There's Minnis, the guy Lakewood wants to shoot the long ball. Couldn't hit that one. And Reagan O'Rourke now settling for the Tornadoes.
Minnis is a pretty good looking player. Even on the shots that he's missed, they've kind of touched the front rim. They've all looked like they've been good shots.
Here's Barnes, pull up from 10. In and out. Out of bounds to the Tornadoes. Now, both of these teams have put together their runs in this game. Stolen, Lane inside. Second try's good. O'Rourke had it knocked away. Lakewood really frustrating the Tornadoes. A 13-point lead. Not extended after that long shot, but it's out of bounds now. And it's still Lakewood ball.
Both O'Rourke and Carden, I think, are caught up in that motion of this basketball game. They're not using their heads. On the previous turnover, Carden caught the ball too low on the baseline, and O'Rourke trying to dribble through a trap. There's no way you're going to get through these defenders as quick as they are dribbling to break a trap. You have to use your ability to pass the basketball.
Carl White back into the game, pulls down a rebound. Clearwater has not scored in this third quarter. Another shot's off. Here's Lane. Minnis. This is a 12-0 run for Lakewood.
It's very similar to how the first quarter started. Clearwater has to settle down, try to find a way to get a basket to stop the bleeding.
Here's O'Rourke. They are ice cold. And Lakewood knowing that this is the time to take advantage.
Not sure that was a good shot selection that time by Cox.
White has it stripped away, and this time Akara White's going to draw the foul.
We've got an offensive foul on Clearwater. White is 4.
They get Carl White for the foul. It looked like the foul was called on Lakewood. Instead, they assess it to O'Carl White, and that is going to be number 4. And Andrick, you cannot believe it.
It's really frustrating, honestly, as a coach and as a player, to watch, and I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, Drew, but some of the officiating and the calls that I've seen so far in this third quarter have been absolutely atrocious. And I hope they have the opportunity to watch this film to see how poorly some of these calls have been made.
Well, usually we don't make a living picking on officials, but that was probably the worst call I've ever seen doing basketball here on Bright House Sports Network.
Well, it's just a very important basketball game. And when you're talking about taking the best basketball player in the gym out of the game on a call such as this one that we've just seen, an offensive foul, which I'm still having a hard time seeing where the offensive foul was. I cannot believe an official made that call.
Wow.
The game should be decided between the lines. It's a very well-played basketball game. Trust me, neither one of these teams need any kind of help or assistance getting a win. They're that good.
Now a foul called on the Tornadoes. And I believe they're going to get Mike Barber. Right now, Coach Carden just cannot believe it.
Coach Carden needs to make sure he maintains his cool. I mean, there's not much he can do about it on the sideline. Just needs to maintain his cool. This will be a learning lesson for his kids. And they really have to understand you can't let games be this tight. And in all honesty, let any external factor be a factor in the outcome of the basketball game. The kids should be able to decide it on the floor.
Brandon Lillavoy misses the second end. going to be a tough uphill battle for their Tornadoes with their best player on the bench. Clearwater with the new challenge that they're going to have to face. That's definitely going to go a long ways this year. Can they come back from a 15-point deficit with their most athletic player and best player on the bench?
Well, you're not going to get it all back at once. You're going to have to get it back in chunks. So you have to look at the game right now possibly in 3-4 minute segments. You just have to try to chip away at it, hopefully cutting the lead down to 6 or 7 points with 4 or 5 minutes left in the basketball game to give yourself an opportunity to win.
Sargent scores the first bucket for Clearwater in the second half. Poked away. Carden, a good job knocking it away, but Teo Saka couldn't come up with it. It's Clearwater basketball. O'Rourke waiting for his screen man to come. There it is. Sargent inside. Couldn't get it to fall, but he'll shoot two.
Julian wish he had that one back, and I like what Clearwater's doing now. They're going to spread the floor out to make Wood to come out to guard him, and he caught Julian Sargent right here on the baseline screen. That great screen that time by Teo Saka to get him open. Sargent just has to finish that one and make sure he uses his weight to carry that defender into the rim.
Several schools after Julian Sargent, among others, Liberty, Missouri, USF. Head coach Stan Heath definitely taking a look at this young man. And Florida Gulf Coast. Julian Sargent, a beast on the boards.
Great size and just really good touch. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of upside to this kid as well. He didn't get a lot of playing time last year, having to come off the bench, so he's just now starting to get the repetitions that he's deserved. So he's only going to get better with time.
Lakewood works it around. And a good shot by Ladarius Barnes. That penetration has been there, and Barnes has really taken advantage tonight.
The middle range jump shot is the most difficult shot in basketball to master. Ladarius Barnes has made it look like a layup this evening. He's lived by that shot so far.
54-40. It has been the defense and the up-tempo play of Lakewood that has at times thrown Clearwater out of their game, throwing the shooting of Justin Minnis, and that explains why the Spartans lead by 16.
I've been very impressed by tonight's game with Minnis. I mean, he's been knocking down some big-time three-point shots in the first quarter, but he's made some very good decisions in transition. He's had the ability to shot fake now since they're closing out on him. One dribble pull up inside the lane. So he's showing us a little bit of the complete package this evening.
So here's Reagan O'Rourke at the line. Mentioned his mom and dad played at Florida Southern. Well, his uncle, Bobby Parks, was a former basketball star at Florida State. So his mom and dad at Florida Southern, uncle at Florida State. Reagan O'Rourke's got some pretty good genes.
That makes for some interesting dinner conversations on Sundays.
It's been fun watching him play, though, over the last 3 years for Clearwater. Tornadoes now turning up their pressure in the half court. Shaman Cox shot it just long.
Shaman Cox to realize he has Julian Sargent closing out on him full speed at 6'9". A shot fake, 2 dribbles. He could have been to the rim, dunking it in for 2.
Here's O'Rourke. Good pass inside to Sargent. That's 16 points now for Julian Sargent. Clearwater trying to make one more big run. And they're going to get a foul called on Nunchester, who came over to try and block Dominic Lane.
Julian Sargent was forced that time to step up and stop penetration. And Nunchester having to slide down and try to block the shot from Dominic Lane. Just caught him on the outside of the head. Send him to the line for 2.
There you got to look at Dominic Lane, 3.7 GPA. This young man's been on varsity since his freshman year. Oh, Clearwater can't control the rebound. Now they do. Here's O'Rourke. Kicks it over. Nunchester open. Sargent inside. Boy, he has been unstoppable tonight.
Great job by Sargent, keeping the ball high, maintaining his pivot foot, and really just using his body to create space. Finish on the glass. That's a sign of a great big man training.
Minnis tries to respond. He can't hit. Sargent up high for the rebound, and here's Carden. Good look. Nunchester passed up the shot. Now the Tornadoes swinging it around. They've got a player open. In the corner, and it's good. As Malcolm Grigley hits his first three of the game.
Senior not getting a lot of playing time, but I tell you what, he's taking advantage of the minutes he's getting so far in the second half. Timely three-pointer.
Tipped away, Nunchester couldn't control. But this Clearwater team, even with their best player off the bench, Malcolm Wrigley and company, are not done yet.
Better job by our work, getting to the paint and sucking into defense and really just coming to a jump stop, penetrating kick, and Grigley being armed and ready to unleash the three from the corner.
Here's Bernard Reedy into the game for Lakewood. Barnes has been deadly, driving to the hoop all night long. He scores another one. So Ladarius Barnes, who shared that guard role with Reggie Reed, really making a difference tonight. Sargent couldn't grab it. Numbers for Lakewood. Cox kicks it over to Lilleboy, and they're going to wave it off.
Great job that time by Carden getting back on defense. And I tell you what, Cox kind of set his teammate up for failure. Anytime you have a 3-on-1 break, you have to kick the ball ahead and make it into a 2-on-1 break so that exact thing doesn't happen. 3-on-1 break is really optimal for that one defender to pick up a charge, and Carden just sacrificing his body.
So here's O'Rourke. Trying to kick it over to Wrigley.
Ball out of bounds on Lakewood. Private ball.
Clearwater can trim this lead into single digits, and Sargent makes it an 8-point game. 18 points now for Julian Sargent.
Clearwater's been slowly able to chip away at this lead. We talked about breaking this into 3-4-minute segments, and right now they're ahead of schedule. 8-point game. If they can go into the fourth quarter, maintaining this lead below 10 points and bringing in a Carl White off the bench, Coach Gardner will have this Tornado team in striking distance, an opportunity to pull out a victory.
Well, there is not a seat to be had here at Lakewood High School. Standing room only for this matchup tonight. The two best public school teams in Pinellas County, Lakewood and Clearwater. Shamon Cox inside, had it swatted away. It was Julian Sargent doing the honors. Here's Sargent to finish on the other end.
Strong finish by Sargent, but I tell you what, Sargent needs to make sure he takes care of Mr. Tay Osaka after this basketball game. Tay splitting the trap, coming to a jump stop, and finding this big man on the left block. Finishes strong for two with an opportunity for a three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Brian Koza checks in for Lakewood. Dan Wright now going to his bench. Michael Singleton also getting up, ready to check in. Well, what a roller coaster this third quarter has been. Lakewood coming out of the locker room, scoring 12 straight points.
We've got a violation on Clearwater.
As the Tornadoes trail by as many as 16 points, and they've trimmed that lead down to 6.
Now checking in for Lakewood, number 11.
As Corey Carden checks back into the game, and the Tornadoes now go to the full court press. Is it smart to full court press a team that is much quicker than you, Andrew?
Well, as long as you keep them in front. And right now, even though it is a full court press, what they're doing is they're baiting them into bad passes. They're not really trapping, and they're keeping them in front. So it's a great way to slow the tempo of the game down, honestly.
Air ball on the shot by Reagan O'Rourke. And Lakewood's going to have the ball with a chance to hold for the last shot. O'Rourke has not had his usual night from the field. Only 2 of 12 so far.
They've had to speed him up this evening. I think that's pretty much affected his shot selection opportunities.
Here's Koza. And Brian Koza off the bench going to draw a foul. Could not ask for much more than what we've seen so far.
Bernard Reedy just beating the pressure and dropping off a nice pass to Mr. Brian Koza. 6'3" senior having the opportunity to get his name on the stat book. 2 free throw attempts.
Brian Koza, senior for this Spartans team, stands 6'3", well built young man. Missed 2 free throws. Boy, cannot come off the bench and not be able to convert those. 6 seconds. Carden had it deflected. Good defense by Lakewood. And the Spartans can just heave it up and nearly miss what would have been a miracle shot. 3 quarters down and in the books. 1 to go from here at Lakewood. Spartans lead by 6. Here at Lakewood High School, Drew Felios, Andrick Frazier. And a tough road ahead for either of these teams. When you look into the month of February and March, look at what Clearwater and Lakewood and the teams around them have done. The team from this region has advanced the title game the last 4 years.
Talked earlier about this Clearwater-Lakewood matchup, possibility of seeing each other 3 times before the year is done, but you're right. They have to take on that 5A District 10 team that comes out, the runner-up or winner, but Northport has a signee, the kid that's signed at the University of South Florida. Venice is a team, again, 15-2 is very tough. So it's not going to be an easy road to get there. They have to make sure they take each step of the way, 1 game at a time, and not look forward to trying to get over to Lakeland.
Penetration, Reedy couldn't handle it. It was knocked away. And it's going to be Clearwater basketball. Nunjester will check in.
Both coaches keeping their starters on the bench for first couple minutes of this 4th quarter, I guess, trying to just see how much time they can buy. All of these kids have expended a tremendous amount of energy so far in this basketball game.
Here's O'Rourke. Tries that right side, able to penetrate in and at least draw the foul. Reagan O'Rourke will head to the line.
Strong penetration that time by O'Rourke. Understand the long ball's not falling for him this evening, having the ability to get to the basket or get to the free throw line. That's what you want to do when you're struggling as a shooter.
Here's Reagan O'Rourke knocking down the first free throw. Singleton off. Sargent now rebounds it. O'Rourke off on the shot. And Malcolm Grigley puts it in.
Malcolm Grigley has been the man on time this evening, hitting some timely buckets when Clearwater needs him the most. I believe they call a charge on that last drive. Victor Perkins just a bit out of control on that penetration.
That is Victor Perkins' 5th foul of the ball game.
So Coach Wright right now deciding to go back with his starters, wondering how long he was going to sit them on the bench. So you see Grigley coming back into the basketball game,
Number 3 is Pinellas, number 5.
as well as Shimon Cox and Brandon Lavoie. Cam Carden has played a very strong basketball game this evening. He's going to have to make sure he gets the ball into the hands of his scorers to get Clearwater back into this game. Carden again calling for motion, getting the ball up top to Julian Sargent. Will work at the top of the key. Clearwater's content taking some time off the clock to make sure they get the ball in the paint to Sargent, or getting Carden or work open for a 3. Big time shot. Joey Nunjester coming off the screen with his 10th point of the evening, closing, tying this game up at 58-58. The first time we've had in this game since the first half. A lot of activity underneath the rim, and timeout call by Lakewood. Coach Rice wants 20 seconds to talk about it. It's Dominic Lane able to come away with the loose ball. Right here, we're knotted at 58 with 5:55 left to go. You're at Bright House Sports Network. There's been some rather phenomenal basketball players that have graced this gym at Lakewood, and just some of the ones in recent history. Anthony Dorsey and Marcus Morrison. Morrison on that 2002 state championships team, signed with South Carolina. His brother Mike and Sean Morrison, also phenomenal players here. You can't forget about Ed Nixon and Mario Telfair. And those are just recent history. There have been some tremendous athletes that have graced the floor for Coach Wright, Lakewood Spartan program. Not a very good possession that time for Lakewood coming out of the timeout. Pretty sure that's not what Coach Wright drew up. So who's going to step up right now for Clearwater? Will it be Sargent? Will it be O'Rourke? Will it be Carden? Try to get them their first lead of this basketball game. Mike Barber, opportunity at point blank range of the pressure, not able to hit. Big time charge taken by Julian Sargent. 6'10", senior center, sacrificing his body to create the turnover. Dominic Lane caught driving to the basket, and Julian Sargent just taking one right on the chin. Clearwater with numbers, great pass to O'Rourke. Rather athletic play that time by Dominic Lane, but Dominic Lane called for goaltending by the trail official. O'Rourke going up strong, and Lane making contact with the ball after it's touched the glass. Easy call for the official. O'Rourke so far on the night, 11 points and 5 assists, and Menace again. 25th point of the basketball game. Seeing a very big basket from beyond the arc this evening. Mike Barber scoring his first points of the evening. Timely 2 points to put Clearwater up by 1. Brandon Lavoie going strong to the basket that time on Julian Sargent, and Sargent picking up his 4th personal foul. So now Coach Carden has some decisions to make, with Okoro Wright with 4 fouls and Julian Wright with 4 fouls. He's going to have to play a little game of chess in this last 4 minutes and 44 seconds. Brandon Lavoie, the 6'1" senior forward, is only 1 of 5 from the line. It's a very important free throw. Notched this game back up at 62. Lakewood's pressure has really been ineffective against Clearwater in the 4th quarter. They've been able to break the press and set up in their half-court offense. I think it was giving them opportunity to get in the game. Great steal by Menace. turning it back over. Great job by that time by Minnis getting a hand in the passing lane.
All right, Andrick, back to the two-man booth here, and thanks for filling in for me the past few minutes. Little on-the-job training, doing some play-by-play.
You just make sure you give me a little bit of that check after this game is over with.
Darius Barnes the other way, and a foul is called. Barnes is going to go to the line. We are tied at 62.
Talked about Lakewood's inability to create pressure and turnovers. There to get a turnover here for an easy bucket. And Darius Barnes hacked in the act of shooting. So fouls become very important from this point forward, Drew. Lakewood the rest of the way will be in the double bonus. Clearwater 2 fouls away from being in the double bonus. So the way the officials have been calling these basketball games, these free throw shootings going to become very vital down the stretch.
13 points for Barnes. Barnes came in averaging about 8. So 5 points, now 6 points above his average. It's performances like that you need to beat a team like Clearwater. You need guys who don't usually perform at a high level to really, really raise the tempo of their game. Here's White, good move, and Carl White off the bench is giving Clearwater a spark here in this fourth quarter.
Well, Carl White is well rested. He's been sitting on the bench now for almost 8 minutes of this basketball game.
Three-pointer by Minnis.
Minnis is putting on a shooting display this evening. He is seeing an unbelievably large basket.
Here's Nunchester trying to respond. Off the mark. Dominic Lane now with it. 2-on-1. And they'll draw the foul. Well, you talk about Justin Minnis and what he has done tonight. Without a doubt, if Lakewood wins, Minnis will be our Bright House Sports Network player of the game. 6 of 7 from three-point range. Simply amazing.
Man, these are all timely three-pointers. Maybe the first shot he had open looks, but he's had red jerseys flying at him. Each time he's measured it up from behind the arc, and he's doing nothing but pitching darts from 19 feet out.
Well, last week we saw that with Mike Julian for Chamberlain, and him hit 6 three-pointers in a row. Tonight, it's been the little guy, Justin Minnis. Now, Reggie Reed did that last year a lot for Lakewood in big games, knocked down those big shots.
Minnis has definitely been a nice compliment for Coach Wright's team in filling that void that was left by Reggie Reed. And talk about his ability to score points. I think Reggie Reed was just more of a floor leader. He got him in the sets and played unbelievable on-the-ball defense. So Minnis is still adjusting defensively, but he's picked off where Mr. Reed left off on the offensive end of the floor.
And a blocking call. Oh, Dan Wright can't believe it. But Clearwater gets one here late. 67-64. Wright's team with a 3-point lead, but that lead was a lot more just about a quarter ago. It was about 16 at this mark in the third quarter.
Shooting 1 plus the bonus.
White tried to keep it alive, he couldn't do it. Knocked away, and a traveling. Yeah, Nunchester took too many steps. Everybody getting out of their seat here at Lakewood High School. Really into this basketball game. Malcolm Grigley checks in. Nunchester will have a seat.
Coach Garden going a little bit of defense for offense right here, inserting the senior, who's really hit some timely baskets this evening in Grigley, but also have the ability to help him keep some players off the glass and hopefully create some turnovers.
Barnes kicks it out. Good ball movement. Cox now pulls up and drains it. A big shot by Shimon Cox.
You're yelling big shots. I know Coach Wright went with the oh no, oh yes on that shot attempt. Not sure if that was a good look that time, but Cox, but it did fall down.
Traveling called on White. And now time starting to become a bit of a factor. 2:28 and a 5-point game. Lakewood leads. Cox wants it again. Kicks it out to the money man.
The menacing money man. I lied, Drew. I had to bring that one back in.
What a night for Justin Minnis. 31 points for the 5'9" senior guard who came in averaging 13. And Dan Wright, who is usually pretty sedate when it comes to congratulating his players, even comes out to half court to give his little guy a high five.
Well, apparently somebody forgot to tell Minnis that he didn't have the ability to knock down a long ball, because I tell you what, he's done nothing but that this evening, and the ball has just been whistling through the net. Each shot he's taken has looked good, and he's playing with unbelievable confidence. We've seen the floater, we've seen the long ball, we've seen him play defense, and no matter if there's a red jersey flying at him or he's lining it up by himself, it's been nothing but dead eye from behind the arc.
A career night for Justin Minnis. The main reason why Lakewood leads by 8 points. While Clearwater has also played a pretty good game, the Tornadoes have just at times looked inconsistent and out of sync. Clearwater's had some great runs, but they haven't been able to really make up for the peaks and valleys. They've had more valleys than Lakewood.
When you talk about the game of runs and peaks and valleys, I played for Coach Valdez. He used to say, you know, basketball is like a pendulum swing. You just want to make sure that pendulum stays on your side for the majority of the 32 minutes, and I think that's what we've seen tonight with Lakewood. They just put together some unbelievable runs that really knocked the wind out of Clearwater to start the game off, and again in the second half, it's hard to come back from that.
Clearwater knew they were going to have to contend with Shimon Cox, but I don't think they anticipated the night that Justin Minnis has put together.
Pretty sure Clearwater's game plan was to make sure they keep Lakewood out of the paint, make them shoot the ball from the outside, but they had no idea that Lakewood would see such a large basket, especially from the three-point line this evening. I mean, Lakewood has really played an outstanding game plan.
Here's White. Only 10 points tonight for Okara White.
And then speaking to Coach Wright, you asked him what was one of the, the keys to winning this basketball game, and it's, you know what? We have to maintain Okara White. We can't give up 25 points to Okara White and expect to play, to stay in this basketball game, and that's held true so far this evening.
Make it now 11 points, 5 boards for Clearwater star. 6-point game. Clearwater needs it to happen right now.
Spacing is going to be key for Lakewood. Clearwater has to either first force turnovers or make Lakewood shoot free throws.
That's what they wanted. Cox misfires. And now it's Carden for Clearwater. 1:45 to go.
Shimon Cox has to understand time and score. It's a 6-point basketball game. In all honesty, they win this game without taking another shot. There's no reason for him to force a shot from the short corner.
Because look what it leads to. Julian Sargent scores, sent him to the line, and a good assist by Reagan O'Rourke.
Reagan O'Rourke again had the ability to get to the basketball into the lane. Find his 6'10" senior on the left block. Sargent's really stepped up his game in the second half.
Three-point game. Tornadoes need to force another turnover. Another quick shot by Lakewood, and it's rebounded by Grigley. A golden opportunity for the Tornadoes. That's where they want the ball, and Sargent delivers. So just as Justin Minnis has paced Lakewood, Julian Sargent has been the big man on campus tonight for Clearwater. Look at the size advantage right there.
Again, just giving himself a huge target, and O'Rourke being patient and waiting on his big man, catching the ball wide and finishing hot.
1 minute, 13 seconds left in the ball game. The score is correct. Lakewood 72, Clearwater 71.
Now a 1-point game. 1 minute to go. This is what we expected when we signed up for this game, Clearwater and Lakewood. Only question now is who's going to win it. As O'Rourke commits the foul, and Ladarius Barnes will go to the line now for 2 gigantic free throws.
This game plan is played right into the hands of Coach Carden. I thought with Lakewood being up 6 points, have a little opportunity to take some air out of the basketball. Now they're forced to make free throws. That has not been their strong suit this evening.
These Lakewood fans, they are with this program their entire lives. You see fans of all ages that come here to Lakewood Spartans gym.
This is truly a community event, and they come out in full force to support their Spartans. And that's what high school basketball should truly be about.
Yep.
It's really getting your neighborhoods and your communities involved to support these kids because they put a lot of hard work in. And this really makes for a great atmosphere for TV as well.
It really does. I have never had the opportunity to call a game, Andrick, from this gym. Been to pretty much every single gym in the entire area. But this gym right here, it really is something special.
The correct score is Lakewood 73, Clearwater 70.
Okay. Readjustment to the score. Good job by Barnes knocking down the free throws. Here's White. Thought about the 3, cast it up. Now he'll go to the goal. Short. Lakewood with a chance at a breakaway, and all Corey Carden could do was commit the foul.
It's a great job that time by Corey, because if he was not able to make that foul, Menace had a streaking teammate on the left-hand side for a wide open layup. So
we got Clearwater. It's third. Minutes on the line for the Spartans.
2 shots.
that's the most rim I've seen Menace touch all night on any of his shots.
Ironic, Andrick, because when Justin Menace transferred from St. Pete, Coach Dan Wright didn't really know what he was getting, because Lakewood always beat the heck out of St. Pete in basketball. He didn't even know Justin Menace. And what do you know, Menace, 33 points tonight for Wright Spartans.
Well, after this game, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to come familiar with Mr. Justin Menace.
Sargent surrounded, and he threw it away. Too much Lakewood pressure throughout this game, and the Spartans right now starting to smell it.
It all becomes fundamental from this point on. It's all about making free throws and playing smart for Lakewood.
That foul was called on Clearwater, 23 numbers here. It's second. Minnesota line, 2-2.
Clearwater had their opportunities in this basketball game. Lakewood just was not able to slam that door shut. But I think with Carl White getting in foul trouble early in the third quarter, and Menace just seeing such a large basket, Clearwater really didn't stand much of a chance as far as pulling out this basketball game.
The correct score, Lakewood 77, Clearwater 70.
Well, I definitely love to see the second battle between these two teams, and the third battle likely in the postseason. This Lakewood team, after tonight, turns their attention now to the stretch run of this season. And the teams on deck: Osceola, Bogosiega, Dixie, Hollins, and Seminole through the month of January.
Looks like Bogey will be a rather tough game for Lakewood. That's always a rivalry game between those two schools.
You know, Clearwater had to play 5 games in 8 days. This is the 4th of those 5 games. And you see they got Eastlake tomorrow. Then in 4 days, Dunedin, Tarpon, and Countryside. All of those teams, Clearwater should not have a problem with. Eastlake, the toughest challenge.
The thing for them will be to stay healthy and to just try to win basketball games. Don't get too down about this game. you'll have an opportunity to avenge this loss later on in the season.
Look at the numbers on minutes tonight. And this is not only the performance of the game, maybe the performance of the season. Start the celebration. Lakewood is going to get a huge win over their arch rival. I have to mention next week, there is no Bright House Sports Network Game of the Week on our side, on the Tampa Bay side. But the following week, we're back in Hillsborough County at Tampa Catholic when Jesuit invades the Crusader Castle.
Always a fierce rivalry when those two schools get together. Two predominant Catholic schools in Hillsborough County, less than 2 miles apart.
Yep. There you go. There you see the next 2 weeks. A couple big games in Orlando. Orlando Christian Prep, the Class 1A state champ, taking on Lake Howell. Then Timber Creek battling Cypress Creek. And then there you go. We're at Tampa Catholic February 4th for Jesuit and Tampa Catholic. We look forward to bringing that game right into your living room.
Orlando Christian Prep and Lake Howell, it's father versus son. Reggie Cohn having an opportunity to play against his old team, not only where he played, but also coached, and coaching against his father, who was his high school coach and athletic director. So I wonder who Mama Cohn's going to be cheering for.
It rims out. And this may be the final possession for the Tornadoes. Carden knocks down the 3. And Clearwater will take the quick timeout. This will be the 3rd loss on the year for the Tornadoes. Lakewood will improve to 16-2. And this is one of those games that you simply learn a lot from if you're Clearwater. As Lakewood will move on, the Tornadoes, if they're going to look back at this game, Andrick, and try and take anything from it, what do you think that's going to be?
Well, first, I think they did a great job of maintaining their composure, especially, with some of the adversity that took place in the second half. But if I'm Coach Carden's group, you really have to understand that other teams are going to go on runs. It's how you're going to answer yourself during those runs. I think they did an excellent job in preserving their game plan, but they're going to have to change some things up next time they see this Lakewood team. I don't think this is a team they can get into an up and down track meet with. They really have to take advantage of their size, limit the number of possessions that Lakewood gets, and definitely not give them second and third opportunities on the offensive glass like they did this evening.
You exit to the right. If you're on the opposite side of the scorer's table, you exit to the left.
Six-point game with 10 seconds to go. Lakewood tries to inbound, and Reagan O'Rourke's going to come over and commit the foul immediately. So head coach Dan Wright making another appearance and another win on the game of the week. As Lakewood Spartans so successful last year playing in the playoffs, knocking off Pinellas Park. Remember that game, the final one we did last year. And it was Alan Carden, of course, coaching that Pinellas Park team. So Dan Wright right now has a couple of nice wins over Alan Carden coach teams.
Last year I think they were the undisputed favorites going into that basketball game, and they may have been viewed a little bit as the underdogs this evening, but I think they've set the tone now. Not only, for a later region matchup, but also in Class 5A, where they haven't been getting the respect in the polls that Clearwater has been able to garner so far this year.
So Brandon Lillavoy will go to the line to finish off this game.
On the line for Lakewood, shooting 2.
It was a dandy. But Lakewood with a little bit more stamina, playing at a little bit higher level all night long than Clearwater. guy in the lane that time. He wanted that basketball back even with 1 second to go.
They say the shooter's the first one to know the shot's not going in, so I guess he knew that one didn't have a chance.
That'll do it. 81-73, Lakewood gets a key win in this 2009 basketball season, but you can bet the Tornadoes will be heard from again. We'll wrap this thing up with our player of the game and head coach Dan Wright right after this on Bright House Sports Network. The Lakewood Spartans starting to celebrate, victorious tonight over a very good Clearwater team, 81-73. Drew Felios, Andrick Frazier, now joined by the Bright House Sports Network player of the game. If you missed this game, you missed a shooting exhibition by Justin Minnis. Justin, congratulations. And in a game like tonight, Clearwater comes in knowing they got to shut down Shimon Cox, and I don't think they fully accounted for what you could do from the outside.
Yeah, I just came out with the heart, having God on my side. And, just with that intensity, I was, so pumped up for this good game because, everybody was saying it was a good game. So, it was, very competitive.
You know what's surprising, too, coming over from St. Pete, nothing against the Green Devils program, but rarely were you in big-time environments like this. So how did you respond in a game like this on television?
Well, I just took it one day at a time. Just took my time. Just waited for my time, from St. Pete. And as soon as I got the opportunity, I just took advantage of it.
Attaboy.
Well, Justin, you talk about experience in the zone, and I don't know if this is your first time being there or not, but just talk about, especially after you knocked down the first couple of shots, what was going through your mind each time you touched the basketball?
Just keep feeding me. I was feeling it. Ever since I stepped in the gym, I was that's my mindset was on this game. I was making sure that, I pulled my team out with the win.
What next now for the Lakewood Spartans? You get a big win over Clearwater, but you're probably going to have to see these guys again, huh?
Yeah. Just come out playing as a team, keep the defense up, intensity, and just come out with another win.
Got to ask you, too, one more question about that transfer. When you came over here to Lakewood, were you welcomed by Dan Wright, or did you kind of have to earn your stripes and kind of earn the respect in the playing time?
I was kind of welcome, but, dealing with Coach Wright, he had to make me work for it. Transfer with, the good team, I had to earn my spot, earn my respect. And, I give a, big shout out to all my teammates, Shimon, Dominic, Brandon, all of it, Coach Wright.
Well, again, it's just congratulations on a good game. And I think the thing that was most impressive about this evening was that you guys were not intimidated by Clearwater, not by their size. And you could tell by from the first couple possessions of the game plan was going to be to get them in an up-tempo basketball game. Talk about what type of things you're able to do defensively to get some turnovers and get it moving on your side.
We were just trying to stop, both of the big men and pressure them. So, if we could get a fast break and just outrun them. Try, put them in the foul trouble and hit big shots.
Well, it seems it definitely worked in your direction. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, Justin Minnis, congratulations. Our Bright House Sports Network player of the game, Justin Minnis. 8 of 9 3-point shooting.